Z here. It's kind of good. If I didn't have my phone, I'm using my phone camera. If I didn't have my phone turned to where I couldn't see myself, I doubt I'd be having as much fun. You know, I think I was just realizing that I think that if I was just talking to that piece of plastic, I don't know if I would have the enthusiasm. But seeing at least one live person in front of me, my brain can actually believe there's somebody to talk to. So I don't know. Hello there, me. Hello there. Anyway, where are we at? Oh, well, let me salute in here. Did I salute in? I'll salute in again. I forget. I'm doing a whole bunch of shows, you know, for the next couple of days. So the beginnings and the intros are kind of lost and muddled in my memory. But anyway, I think if I waved to you, I think I saluted in right after that. Let's go on that presumption. If I can remember waving to you, then I remember saluting. And I think I remember waving. Okay. Today we're doing Mother's Day Aftermath. Now, Aftermath is a very, very, very important album by the Rolling Stones for me. Aftermath was the album where I realized that I could tell, well, I already knew this, but it was really on that album where it kind of made sense, where I could tell a good song from a bad song and tell a song that I could write and a song that wasn't good enough for me to write. So me as a songwriter critic, remember I was only probably, this is before I actually consider myself a songwriter, which happened when I went to Canada. That's when it actually forced me to start doing that. Although I think I was writing some songs, which I've always been hesitant to, because I don't want to hear myself playing crap and stupid stuff. But I recently kind of tried to wrestle some of my old cassettes, which have, through my moving and storage, and the box that had all my cassettes and things blew up, and all the index cards of all the songs and everything just got shoved. Somebody else cleaned it up. Got kind of disorganized. That, which you can almost say that's the most important part of my life, and it's something that I totally almost trashed. Is all this my first songs that I wrote before 1974. So what are all the songs I wrote between the age of 16 and 20? That 4-year period, I've got a whole box of cassettes. That's it, just one box of cassettes of all the songs I wrote during that period. Before I actually considered myself a songwriter and went into a recording studio and recorded my first song and got on the radio, started getting on the radio. But all these songs, there's songs, how good are they? Well, I was surprised. I actually found some of them and I sampled a couple of them and I was going, hey, these are cool. I got so many songs I've got to finish, though, that I've written even in the last year, that there's no point in me even trying to go back to those. But if I ever wanted to or ever thought that I had a dry spell, which, of course, has never happened in my life, and I think I've got so many songs started to finish, I don't know if I hope I can finish them in my lifetime, I got another couple hundred songs over here that there may be some good stuff in there. But anyway, well, how did I get up with it? Oh, Aftermath. Because those songs were basically my aftermath. And I could go into detail and tell you the songs and how I related to them. And what's interesting is now, 50 years later, everything that I discovered and believed and noticed or analyzed then is exactly right. Not one single ounce of deviation. I was really seeing very clearly at a very young age my songwriting abilities and my musical judgment critique. Okay, so anyway. Sorry, no, but it really means a lot to me. We should talk about that more. The Aftermath album. That was one of the ones that really just hit it for me. Okay, here we go. Mother's Day Aftermath. I watch American movies. I like them from Japan and China, too. My daughter and I watched a couple Korean series about what Korean pirates and a princess would do. The movies of the East are like the black and white cowboy westerns. They often have a moral to teach and a way to make the future better. But now we are in a millennial world where girls can be boys and boys can be girls. So what are the lessons to teach from young adults discarding the difficult words their parents, uncles, relatives, and philosophers preach? We live in a matriarchal world of passion. Rolls-Royce gurus and afraid of Freud psychologists promote your forged by your environment fashion. Whatever can motivate you now must be important to your uniqueness somehow. As teenagers seek that old vein of happiness, following mother's path backward, behind, as emotions determine each human's bliss, you are uniquely defined by what's stuck in your mind. Perhaps a fear of the dark colors your life. Sex without lights on? Impossible with a wife? Well, good thing millennials celebrate their defects. And millennials worship their fears and worship their sex. The ambitions of the pilgrims are drowned, hidden, and forgotten at sea. Like a dog shaking off water, the millennials are remaking the fractional American family. Kids follow the breadcrumb path, mother left with complaints behind. By sharing the victory of her defeat, millennials are programmed by the aftermath of mother's ungrateful mind. Yeah, success for a woman is divorce now. And not a family that stays together for long. It's like, what can you get out of the divorce? That's 90% of marriage now. As you use the words in the resentful wrong inflection, losing your mind sounds absurd, but it would be the right direction. Stop worshiping your daycare faults and celebrating your feminized weakness. The good and healthy people you insult see a teenage crippled disease where you see your uniqueness. The petty people have petty goals and petty emotion. They can feel pride insulting someone else's devotion. These good-willed souls of gray are never completely wrong or completely right, because the philosopher preacher has been chased away with all spiritual decisions based upon your favorite video game fight. The Google morals and feminine logic of the soft millennial generation traded Socrates for Shakespeare to glorify greed and selfishness and avoid excess illumination. Game of Thrones is the template for young American minds. Sissies hiring soldiers to protect their proper gender bender pronoun behinds. Millennials are the e-book prophets who guide us from inhuman dark history. Human prior experience, mistakes, and losses are lost knowledge to not rediscover. Not desiring patriarchal wisdom, millennials prefer mystery, just like mother. Daycare hired hands are the parents of American kids. Each boy is trained so he understands that toxic masculinity in our Ritalin world, every feminized boy must forbid. Commitment based on the exchange of money is the friendly glue of the universe. Should society invest a spoon of honey if mother won't prevent you becoming worse? To what age should a mother raise you? Her goal is to set you free. Or does she support the insecurity that betrays what masculinity would do? Because the world is held together by promises women make. No matter how much truth you give her, to a woman, loyalty is a slave's mistake. In this Mother's Day aftermath world, devoid of robotic devotion, feminine obligation lasts until it causes a negative emotion. This 21st century mess is the era ruled by fear. Whatever causes a woman stress is the evil we must emasculate, erase, and clear. I actually put demasculate. I've always had a more of an effect. Emasculate just doesn't, for some reason, have the same meaning to me as demasculate. But look it up in the dictionary. It's like, it doesn't exist. It's emasculate. Like, why isn't it demasculate? Anyway, I put demasculate here. I decided not to make it a typo. Okay, every woman believes she has the right to protect her insecurity. Divorce is the greatest fight to be committed to being free. Which actually now is working out great for the millennial boys. To millennial women, you're just a weirdly manicured, tattooed with a Holocaust haircut cow. who, when she's willing, will allow you to play with her toys. But the best millennial improvement is the destruction of human marriage. That prison of now, N-O-W, capitals with periods, something about something, National Organization of Women maybe, that prison of now contentment ruled from a no prenup, baby carriage, is no longer religiously or socially required. Having kids? Why should it be desired? Millennials know it's not a spiritual thing because scientific mammals are without a scientific soul or God existing. Unless you think your purpose is to populate this planet, you should consider sex unnecessary unless you plan to plan it. The millennials are hippie rabbits, screwing wild in charter school. They've rejected rules, traditions, and good habits to become a non-GMO sexual disease transmission tool. I recommend where I was. It was better where I've been. Here, adults cry and complain because someone's going to ask them how they're feeling. Where are those daycare parents with a Band-Aid when you need them? How do millennials gain pride and solve problems? How do they deal with their single-parent pains? The golden shower of pity upon them reminds them of mother's tears when it rains. Hold on a second. Making a little note here. This is the ending of this poem. No, I'm getting another page. Okay, here we go. I'm on page 75 if you're reading along. Voice is breaking. I don't know how many of these I could do. I haven't finished the rest of this book tomorrow. Anyway, here we go. Change requires a manicure and new hair color or style. I said style of head, which is interesting, but I think it's style of hair. Hair color or style of head. Well, I guess maybe Dave, your head hairstyle. Anyway, sometimes my poetry even impresses me with a little bit of outside creativity. But here we go. Is this the last paragraph? No, we're going to go to the next page. Here we go. Change requires a manicure and new hair color or style of head. Identities all blend together. Mother will approve if it doesn't upset her. See, you got that her. That makes me think that it was supposed to rhyme with that head. Her and hair. Style of... I would have expected a rhyme there. So maybe the automatic type thing would have put in the wrong word or something. Anyway, here we go. Where's my editor? Love's bonfire is soaking up excuses and whiny bitch concerns. Ooh. Mother taught you the child who chooses her lover, the not a stepdad, gets an Xbox, but if you choose your father, then mother never returns. Ooh, hold on. I don't think I read that clear. But I was telling a story. Actually, it really happened. I'll just read it again kind of fast, and I don't really want to elaborate on this because I'll just say bad things about people. Here we go. Let me try to read that again. It didn't really read very well. Let me see why. Oh, I see. There is a rhyme scheme here, but it's kind of excuses. All right, here we go. Yeah, the rhyme scheme here is a little loose. The last rhyme, it's like 6 lines above it where it rhymes with. Okay, here we go. Love's bonfire is soaking up excuses and whiny bitch concerns. Mother taught you the child who chooses her lover, the not a stepdad, gets an Xbox, but if you choose your father, then mother never returns. Mother's Day happened without a dad. For Father's Day, I'll be again more sad. Mother's Day aftermath may not be bad. Perhaps without me, I should be glad. And I made a note here that this one actually ends season 2. I thought I'd read the whole book, but it looks like when I was kind of planning out the seasons for this thing, I kind of thought I'd only do 30. I didn't realize that it might be determined by the size of the book. So I made this season 30, and I'd already numbered all the folders. I looked at it last night, and so I decided, well, all right, let's break this book up into 2 seasons. It's actually going to be 3 seasons, because with 30 and 30 is 60, and there's 72 poems. So the last 12 poems will actually be the beginning of the 3rd season, which is going to be fun, which actually bridges into something else, which I'm excited to share with you. Well, I'm excited to share lots of stuff with you. But yeah, that one will be, I'm pretty sure, shouldn't talk off the top of my head, but I think we're going to do Super Soul 13. And I'm really excited about that. That's a great book. It's so inspiring. My life was so amazing when I wrote that book. I mean, I even write down in the book how amazing things are happening to me as I'm just sitting there writing and people coming up to me. It was just, I was in an amazing space. Super Soul 13 made me into the best person I could be. Really did. A lot of people commented on how saintly I was during that period. So I've got to tell you, that book is good. It's really good for me. It's good for lots of other people. So it's got to be good for you. At least a little bit. Hopefully a lot. Maybe mucho. It's a great book, Super Soul 13. I look forward to inspiring you. But right now I'm inspiring you with all my complaining and life and trying to share a little wisdom with people. So this is kind of a nice little hodgepodge book. I like this. This Formal Truth. It's just all the stuff I was performing. I was, homeless, writing in my car. And it's interesting. I should maybe show you my scenario. I worked out a whole poet system for like how many years? 6 years. When I would carry my poetry book around with me, we were always ready to perform and have a new one that I would start when I finished one book. There would be, I'll show it to you another time. Actually, if you get the Coyote Graveyard, Coyote in a Graveyard NoHo, get that book. The actual cover of that book is based on the actual hardcover book that I wrote the poems inside of it. I would go to the dollar store, but they'd always charge you like $2-3 for these hardcover blank books. And I'd get the ones that would fit into my fanny pack, and I would have the one that I was finishing and the next one. I went through half a dozen of those things, writing at least one a year. So filling them up with poetry, and then I'd use that to perform from. In fact, I ended up making one book, just a performance book. So as I had like 4 or 5 of these notebooks, I started taking some of the cream of the crop, and I created a performance notebook that I always carried with me, always had with me. All right, so anyway, Mother's Day aftermath. And I don't think you understood, I don't know if I even explained what my original inspiration for that, but basically, I was homeless. It was Mother's Day, and of course I always call my mom, and maybe I shouldn't, since my ex-wife divorced me. Why should I say, be happy about it? But she's my friend, so I usually call my ex-wife on Mother's Day also, because she's the mother of my kids. I actually always called her mom. So when we were in the family, I called her mom. I thought of that as a position in the hierarchy. Anyway. See you later. Did I salute you guys out? My mind gets traveling around here so much. That's what's nice about having my mind. It's very mobile. All right. Me and Bodhidharma will see you again soon. Oh, yeah. And as I said, I was kind of surprised that this is the end of season 2. I mean, it doesn't feel like it. We should just keep reading, but I guess it's a good excuse for me to go get something to eat, take a break. In fact, throat's kind of gone, so I may be done for today. So tomorrow, pick it up tomorrow. So yeah, perfect. This will be the end of season 1. Or season 2, actually. Season 2. All right.